Hi everybody, how are you doing? A really warm welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing really well and you've had a great couple of weeks since we last met. If you're new here, my name is Alison. I'm a 50 something witch living in Derbyshire, England, and I'm here to talk about all things witchy, witchy lifestyle, witchy bits and pieces, and bits of mundane life as well. And you're very welcome here, everyone's welcome here, and it's great to have you along. Today we're going to be talking about my favourite tarot and oracle decks. Now, we aren't going to be talking about how to use tarot, that's for another day and time, but this is about the decks that I absolutely love and would recommend to anybody who's just starting out in tarot or who wants to go a little bit deeper with tarot and oracle. These are my personal choices. They might not be ones that you've come across before, they might be ones that you have used. So if you have used them, I'd love to know what you think of them. And yeah, without any further ado, let's get cracking. The first deck I've chosen to look at today is the Everyday Witch deck by Deborah Blake, and the artwork for this deck is by Elizabeth Alba. The Everyday Witch deck is one of my absolute favourites for lots and lots of reasons. The first reason is that it's based on the traditional Rider-Waite imagery, and it's been updated with a few modern twists, but it still stays true to the original Fool's Journey as we see in the original Rider-Waite deck. First of all, the book is absolutely stunning. It's beautiful and it's in full colour. And what I really like about this one as well is that there are also places to make notes about your own interpretations of the cards. It's just lovely, and I think that it would be a great little gift for somebody who is just starting out on their tarot journey, and also for anybody who's been practicing for quite a long time. I mean, I bought this deck only a few years ago and well into my tarot journey, and it's one of the few decks that I actually use when I'm reading for other people, because I find that I can read it very intuitively. I find the images really easy to interpret, and I can just get carried away with this one because I can see so much in it. And that's one of the reasons that I think it's a really great addition to any witch's tarot collection. The cards themselves are all absolutely lovely. Even the cards with the darker messages, I'm not sure about the word dark, but the cards with possible negative connotations are still absolutely beautiful, and they still have a positive feel about them. I know that sounds a little bit strange, but even the cards that most people don't like to see in a tarot reading, such as, I don't know, the Tower and the Three of Swords, for example, still have a positive energy about them, and you know, the promise of better things to come. But I love these cards. They're lovely quality. They're nice and thick, but they're also easy to shuffle and to choose. They've got a nice coating, they are nice and smooth, and I've used these lots and lots, and there's no sign of any bending or tearing. I mean, I do take good care of my cards, but yeah, these, for this reason, I'm gonna put these, you know, well up on my tarot shelf as one of my absolute favourites, and I think that any witch would absolutely love these. Something else that I absolutely love about this deck is that it's got a really strong feminine energy about it. Most traditional tarot, I've always found, has been really male centric, but the Everyday Witch has a definite female vibe to it, and I absolutely love that. I think that that's why it resonates so strongly with me. It's got a very comforting energy about it, very nurturing, and that's another reason that I give it a massive thumbs up. The next deck I want to talk about is the Forest of Enchantment Tarot deck by Lunea Weatherstone. One of the criticisms that I've read quite often about this deck is that although it follows the traditional Rider-Waite journey of the Fool through life, these suits have been changed, and the traditional Rider-Waite suits of Cups, Pentacles, Swords and Wands have been changed for boons, challenges, spells and visions, and a lot of the major arcana cards have been renamed. For example, here we've got the Fool, which is the White Heart, the Enchanter, which is the Magician, and the Black Shuck, which is the Death card. Now, I don't mind that. I think that it gives you a little bit of a challenge when it comes to reading the cards. It makes you really think about what you're looking at. It makes you dive a little bit deeper, and that's one of the things that you will need to do with this deck, literally, because the detail is so intense. There's so many layers to these cards. They are absolutely beautiful, and I think that as pieces of art they're absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, but that's some of the criticism that I've read about them, but I think they're absolutely great. I really love them. They aren't ones that I would use to read for anybody else. They are pieces of art that I admire in and of themselves. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and I would, if I was to receive this as a gift, I'd absolutely love it, and I think that it would be a really nice thing to buy for a witchy friend who loves tarot. Again, the book is absolutely stunning, but this is a standard Llewellyn type, just like the Everyday Witch is that we've just spoken about. There are also spots in here to make notes as well, and yeah, I think this is lovely, and it's a deck that I'm really glad that I bought. Next up is the beautiful Crow Tarot by MJ Cullinan. I absolutely adore crows, and when I found out that there was going to be a Crow Tarot released, I was so excited. I waited ages for it, and when it eventually landed, I wasn't disappointed. It's an absolutely beautiful deck. It's only a small size box, which is lovely to carry around with you if you need to take it anywhere with you, and the cards are absolutely stunning. I think they look like a kind of weathered stained glass, and they have quite a dark energy about them, but there's still a lot of light within these cards. They're very easy to read. I have used them to do readings with, and I think that they're absolutely beautiful. These cards are fairly easy to read because they follow the traditional Rider-Waite path through the tarot. So if you're used to reading tarot and are familiar with the meanings of the major and minor arcana, you should probably find that you get on with these quite well. The little guide book is very, very cute. It's not in full colour, but it does have all the information that you'll need to help you to read these cards. If you do need to consult the book, you'll find it very helpful. I think this is a great deck, and it's one that I'm really, really proud to own. I absolutely love it. Next up is the traditional Rider-Waite deck. This is the Radiant version, and this is in the travel tin. I absolutely love this deck. It's one of my all-time favourites. I think that most people, when they start out with tarot, choose a Rider-Waite deck as their starting point, and for good reason. It's the traditional tarot deck. It follows the Fool's journey through life, and it's full of archetypal figures that you're probably very familiar with before you even start reading tarot. But the reason I love this deck is A, because it's been recoloured from the originals and it really is radiant. The colours are so bright, it's absolutely lovely, it's beautiful to look at. But the other reason I love it is because it's in this lovely little tin, so if you need to carry it around anywhere, if you're taking it to read for somebody, for example, or you just want to have it with you, it's just brilliant in this fabulous little tin, so the cards aren't going to get damaged. And the cards themselves, although they're tiny, they are absolutely packed with detail. I just love them. I think they're beautiful. The cards, they're thick enough. They, you know, I've been using these for years and none of them is marked or bent or damaged in any way. I think they're the perfect size to carry around with you. I absolutely love the Rider-Waite decks anyway, and there's got to be something about it because so many decks are based on this imagery, but this for me is absolutely perfect, and I love to read for people with this deck. I find it really easy to read from. I find it really intuitive to use. I find that I don't doubt myself when I'm using these cards. I don't second guess myself when I'm trying to interpret them. The little guidebook is teeny tiny. There's plenty of information in there. There are other decks if you want a really beautiful, you know, highly illustrated full colour Rider-Waite guidebook, but it's not the place for it here because this is such a lovely little portable set. I absolutely love it, and I think it's a brilliant addition to anybody's tarot collection. Here's the absolutely beautiful Goddess Dream Oracle by the wonderful Wendy Andrew. The Goddess Dream Oracle is absolutely stunning, and there's lots of reasons why it's one of my go-to oracle decks. It's beautiful. I love Wendy Andrews' artwork, and you might be familiar with her work. She has a beautiful website called Painting Dreams, and she does some absolutely beautiful goddess-based artwork, and I'd encourage you to have a look at that if you get a chance, because her work is absolutely beautiful and full of divine feminine images and messages, and it's just absolutely beautiful. This is one of my go-to decks when I do my weekly card draws. I like to do one draw a week, one card a week, just to give me an idea of what I should be focusing on in the week ahead, and this is one of the decks that I love to use for that. The images are absolutely gorgeous. There's so much gentle energy about them. Lots of images of beautiful animals and mythical figures, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. If you haven't got this, I'd strongly recommend that you try and get hold of it from somewhere, because I think it's just absolutely perfect. The little guidebook is gorgeous, and it's in full colour. Some beautiful images in there, the miniature versions of the cards, lovely explanations of what the artist had in mind when she was putting this deck together, but your own interpretation of these is what matters, and I think that you'll get so much from these. They're just lovely to work with, absolutely beautiful cards, and I was so happy when I managed to get hold of this one. I'm pretty sure you can still get hold of it fairly easily. My box is a little bit battered because I've carried it around, and you know, I've had a few mishaps with it, but it doesn't matter because the cards inside are still absolutely gorgeous and I love them. I think it's beautiful. Here's the Green Witches Oracle deck by Erin Murphy Hiscock. I know that lots of us love Erin Murphy Hiscock's work, and there's good reason for that. Her books are absolutely fantastic. Some of my go-to books are hers, and when I found out that there was a Green Witch Oracle to go with the Green Witch book, I was absolutely chuffed to bits, and I'm so glad I bought it. I know that quite a few of you have got this deck from the conversations we've had. and I'm so glad that I was pushed towards buying it because it's absolutely gorgeous. If you've got this deck, I'd love to know again what you think of it, how you work with it, and you know how you get on with it. But what I really love about them is that the drawings on the cards almost look like they've come straight from Aaron's sketchbook. They're just beautiful. Well, it's actually Sarah Richard who illustrated the cards, but they just look like they've come straight from her sketchbook or her book of shadows. Each one looks like a page from her book, and they're absolutely beautiful. The cards themselves are really nice thick cardstock. They are lovely quality, and I love the cream background. I think that they've got a really lovely earthy feel to them. I just absolutely love them. They're easy to work with, and they're also as well as the title of the card, there is a brief descriptor underneath of the interpretation of the card if you need to if you need help to actually help you towards interpreting them. But I find them quite easy to interpret. At the end of the day, how you feel about a card is what matters. What it says to you is what matters. So I think that on that basis, these cards are really easy to read. The little guidebook, the same size as the cards, is also in full colour, and it's lovely to just have a read of it, and just to enjoy the illustrations in the little book if you want to take that out and about with you while you're learning about the deck. But I think this is gorgeous. This is, as I say, a relatively new addition to my collection, and I'm still getting to know it, but I absolutely love it, and I think that it's one of the nicest decks that I own. My next recommendation is the wonderful Woodland Wardens Oracle deck by Jessica Rue. The Woodland Wardens are absolutely stunning and one of my absolute favourite decks in my collection. You've heard me speak about this deck many times for lots of reasons, but I just think it's absolutely stunning, and Jessica's artwork is so beautiful. Every single one of these cards is a delight, and I really look forward to using these cards when I do a weekly draw. The images are so striking, so beautiful, and the combination of the plants and the animals that Jessica uses are just inspired. They're absolutely beautiful. I get a lot of comfort from using these cards. I love the energy of them. I love everything about them. The cards themselves are beautiful quality. I think they're absolutely stunning, and the little book is another one that's a pleasure just to have as a piece of art itself. It's not in colour, but that doesn't matter because the images inside it are just absolutely beautiful. I think as an oracle deck for somebody who hasn't used them before, they'd be absolutely brilliant. I would love to get this as a gift if I was in the market for an oracle deck. They're absolutely gorgeous, and this is one of the decks where I've actually taken images of the cards and put them in my book of shadows because they've resonated with me so hard, and I just absolutely love them. It really speaks to me. I just think it's beautiful, and for that reason this is probably, I would say this is my second favourite card deck that I've ever owned. It's very special to me, and I think that any of you out there, if you're looking for a beautiful animal based oracle deck, this one would tick all the boxes. It's gorgeous. And finally, I can't wait to tell you all about this beautiful deck. It's the Magnificent Bee Tarot by Christopher Hughes. Now, I have only owned this magnificent deck for a week and I'm still getting to know it, but I can't tell you how beautiful this this deck is. It is just absolutely gorgeous, and I'm sorry I'm a little bit lost for words because it really is that good. I waited for this for a long time. I knew it was coming out last year and got very excited about it. I love Christopher, I love his work, and I knew that it was going to be something really special, and when it did arrive last Saturday, it just blew me away. Nadia's artwork is something else. It's absolutely gorgeous, and the cards are, honestly, they're just absolutely beautiful. We follow the traditional Rider-Waite Fool's Journey again. In this case, the suit of cups has been changed for jars, which makes absolutely perfect sense. It works really, really well. Some of these cards are the most beautiful depictions of the traditional tarot that I've ever seen. The Death card is just gorgeous. The sky in the distance is just, it's just breathtaking. I love this card. I think it's absolutely beautiful. One of the things that I really like about this deck is the diversity in it. There are images of people from different cultures, different ethnic groups, men, women, and I just think it's beautiful. It's it doesn't follow the traditional genders in tarot. That's absolutely fine. If you want your tarot to follow the traditional genders, there are plenty of decks out there that will do that for you. But this one is a little bit different. It's got a modern twist, and I think it works really, really well. The time that I spent with this deck, I spent time with individual cards, looking at them, meditating on them, and I find them easy to interpret for myself. I don't know yet if I would want to read for anybody else from this deck just yet, because I'd want to spend more time with it and look a little bit more deeply into it. But with that being said, I would have no hesitation in using this for a 3-card draw for myself, and I just think it's absolutely beautiful. And the detail in the guidebook about bees themselves, if you know me well, you know I'm absolutely obsessed with bees. The detail about bees and how hives work and how individual bees work within a colony is so in depth. There's been so much work put into this deck. It's you know, it's wonderful. It's absolutely beautiful, and I could talk to you about this one deck all day long, but unfortunately we just don't have time. It might be that we decide later on to have a more in-depth look at it, and have a chat about it together. But as I say, it's a mix of modern and traditional imagery, but the images are just so radiant and beautiful, and the book itself is a work of art. I've had a, you know, I've spent some time with it, and absolutely loved the messages behind the cards, and the larger images of the card pictures are just beautiful. So this was so worth the wait. I can't tell you how much I love this deck. I'm just delighted with it. It was an early birthday present from my lovely husband, which has made it even more special. But if you're going to treat yourself to a new deck, and you can only really stretch to one, then I would go with this one all day long, because it's just absolutely beautiful. I can't think why anybody wouldn't love it. It's gorgeous. The cards themselves are unlike anything I've ever handled before. They're very smooth. I don't know if you can see, they almost look like linen. They've got like a linen finish, and they are gorgeous. Everything about them. if anything was spilt on these, it wouldn't do any damage. And I just think that they're gorgeous. They're easy to hold, easy to shuffle, perfect size. There is nothing about this deck that I don't like, and it just gets a huge thumbs up. And as I say, I've only owned this for a week, but it is already right at the top of my pile as my favourite deck ever, because I think it's absolutely wonderful. I really hope that you've enjoyed my tarot selection. I realise that tarot is a really personal thing, and everyone has different preferences when it comes to the decks that they choose. Not every witch uses tarot, not everybody wants to, and that's absolutely fine. But I think that tarot is a fantastic tool, and it's one of my purest joys as a witch, I think, is being able to purchase these beautiful pieces of art that are works of art in and of themselves. And I've heard it said by quite a few people that you shouldn't buy your own tarot deck, you should wait for someone to gift one to you. Well, I think life's too short. I think it's nonsense anyway, but I think life's too short, and there are millions of decks out there just waiting to be discovered. And why deny yourself that pure joy of finding a deck that you absolutely love and really resonates with you, and you just take great joy in using? I don't think that there's anything to wait for. So if you want to buy yourself a deck, you buy yourself one and enjoy it. And I really hope that you found this useful. And I know we've not talked about using tarot as such, we've just talked about these actual decks themselves. If you'd like me to talk more in depth about using tarot at some point, please let me know, and of course I will do that for you. We will spend some time talking about tarot and how to use it. And if there's any questions you'd like to ask me about these decks that I've shared with you today, please do. I'm more than happy to talk to you about tarot all day long. And if you've used any of these decks, please let me know what you think about them. And I'm also really keen to know what decks you absolutely love, what decks can you not live without, and why you love them. So please do tell me in the comments below. I've really loved talking to you about tarot. I could talk to you about it all day, but we're out of time for today, so I'm just going to say a massive thank you again to everybody who has been kind enough to watch my videos, like my videos, and who subscribe to my channel. It means so much to me. I never get fed up of reading your comments and listening to what you say to me. I just absolutely love this little community we've got. If you're new here, I would love it if you would please consider subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate your support, and I love the fact that you're here and that you've decided to join me on this little journey, which is has just been life-changing. I have to say, it's just given me such focus, and I love being here. I love spending time with you, and this is one of my passions. My craft is my passion, and I'm just honoured to have this platform to share it with you. So without getting too emotional, thank you so much for being here, and I really look forward to spending some more time with you. And until we meet again, take care, look after yourselves and each other, and blessed be.